Hemisphere and left hemisphere, and between the two we can see one gap there. This gap is called as median longitudinal fissure, and this gap contains one fold of pyramida. It is not here now. That's called as falx cerebri. It lies in this gap. It also contains two arteries in it. The two arteries will be there, and they are anti-cerebral arteries on right and left sides. They run in this gap. If we see the gap, the median longitudinal fissure, in the depth of this fissure, we can see one structure that's called as corpus callosum. You can see the artery there. This is the artery. And in the depth, you find one structure called as corpus callosum. So you have to cut the diagonal along, which is not visible outside. So when you separate the two cerebral display, you can see diagonal along, the parts of diagonal along, hypothalamus, and you can see the corpus callosum. So each cerebral hemisphere has three ends. You can make out three ends. This end is called as frontal end, the anterior end, frontal pole. Behind is the occipital pole, behind. Then close to the frontal pole, just behind. This is temporal pole, temporal end. So three poles are there, and this depression going inside here is called pre-occipital notch. Pre-occipital notch. It's very close to the occipital pole. Pre-occipital notch. So this surface you are seeing from outside here is looking up and lateral side. So superior lateral surface. It's a big surface. Superior lateral surface. Then if you turn on the side, so this is the medial surface where you can see corpus callosum. It's called medial surface. It's a medial surface. And if you go down here, it's the inferior surface down. It's inferior surface. This inferior surface has two parts. This part, posterior part, is called as temporal part of inferior surface. And this anterior part, is called as orbital part. So this is the orbital part of inferior surface and the temporal part of inferior surface. Between the two you find a sulcus called as stem of the lateral sulcus, lies there. So orbital part of inferior surface lies over the orbit. That's why it's called orbital part. And this part is called as temporal part. It lies over the temporal cerebral line. That's why it's called temporal part. Okay, these are the surface of the cerebrum. Now we will identify the gyre and sulci present on different surfaces. So we will start with the superior lateral surface. The first surface is superior lateral surface. In this you want to identify mainly two sulcus. The one sulcus which is going back is running backwards like this. This is called as the posterior ramus of lateral sulcus. So this you have to identify, it's going back. In this sulcus, if you open the sulcus, you find some blood vessels in it. You find an artery, you find a vein inside it. The artery is the middle cerebral artery. If you open it, there's an artery inside. The artery there and branches coming from the artery. That's the middle cerebral artery. So it lies in this sulcus. And along with this artery, you find a vein also. That's called as deep middle cerebral vein. It is not clear. You want to write there. So two structures are inside the sulcus. And if you open the sulcus, there is a part of the cerebrum. It is inside the sulcus. It is inside the sulcus, and that's called as insula or insular cortex. Insular cortex. This is part of the cerebrum. It is inside this. That's the insular cortex. It's also named as fifth lobe of cerebrum, like frontal, parietal. That's the insular lobe also. It's inside the lateral sulcus. So we have one museum specimen where we have cut this part of cerebrum around the lateral sulcus. If you cut this, you can go to the depth of the lateral sulcus. Many branches there, and you can see the part of cerebrum which is under this artery. That's the insular cortex or insula. Okay, that's inside this. Okay, next thing you identify on this surface, you identify the posterior ramus of lateral sulcus, which is running horizontally backwards. So next sulcus which is running vertically downwards, you can see this one. It's running downwards, it's not running straight down there, it's running forward a little bit. That's called as, it's called as central sulcus. Central sulcus. So that is the second sulcus you identify. And in front of central sulcus, I'll fill with the blue pin. This gyrus. So this is central sulcus. So this gyrus with the pink or red pin, that's called as pre-central gyrus. You see in front of central sulcus, pre-central gyrus. And behind, this gyrus behind, that's called as post-central gyrus. Post-central gyrus contains somatosensing area. Pre-central gyrus contains primary motor area. The question can be asked, I the pin gyrus, name the functional area present in it. So if you write, it contains area 4, you don't get mark. You write the name of the area, primary motor area, or somatosensing area, like that. The name of the area you have to write. Okay? And usually in the exams, I'll get the answers. For this pre-central gyrus, I'll get post-central gyrus, and for the post-central gyrus, I get pre-central gyrus. You don't get marks for that. So pre-central gyrus and post-central gyrus, they are in front and behind the sulcus. Okay, next you have seen the you have seen the posterior ramus of lateral sulcus. Just below that, running parallel to it, you can see one gyrus there. That gyrus is called as superior temporal gyrus. This gyrus contains auditory area, that's 41-42. It's in this gyrus. Superior temporal gyrus. This gyrus. Okay, next gyrus you have to see in the lower part of frontal lobe. This is a frontal lobe. Frontal lobe. In the lower part of frontal lobe, there are some gyrus are there. So I use some other specimen to show this gyrus. You write me two gyrus. One is pars triangularis, another one is pars posterior. Okay, so this specimen, this is the posterior ramus of lateral sulcus. So this is the lower part of the frontal lobe, and here you write me two gyrus. One this one, and one somewhat triangular shape. You can see somewhat like a triangle. This is the apex of the triangle. This is the apex of the triangle, so it's attaching. So two gyrus are there. Between the two you can see one sulcus there. This one. This sulcus is called as ascending ramus of, anterior ascending ramus of lateral sulcus. That's the posterior ramus of lateral sulcus. This is the anterior ramus of lateral sulcus. But there are two anterior ramus there. One is ascending, one is horizontal. Anterior ascending ramus of lateral sulcus. So pink color or red color is pars triangularis, and the blue one pars posterior. Both these gyrus, they contain the motor speech area. The pink one contains area 45, and the blue one behind contains area 44. Okay? But both together they call as motor speech area. So in this surface you identify two sulcus, posterior ramus of lateral sulcus and central sulcus, and you identified 5 gyrus. Pre-central gyrus.
Where's the pars orbital?
Pars orbitalis is one more. It is much below here. This one. Okay. More inferior, more inferior. Pars orbitalis. There is no function there. There is no function. On the middle surface, you have seen the corpus callosum, you have seen the diaphragm, you have right by some direct sulcus on the middle surface. On the middle surface, you will find an artery running around the corpus callosum. It is not there in the specimen, you will find in some other specimen. That is the anterocerebral artery. Runs around the corpus callosum, anterocerebral artery. And there is one gyrus also, follows the corpus callosum. You can see this gyrus here. gyrus which follows the corpus callosum, which runs around the corpus callosum. So that's called as cingulate gyrus. Cingulate gyrus. That's cingulate gyrus. And you also find one sulcus here. Cingulate sulcus. Cingulate sulcus is around the cingulate gyrus. If you go to posterior part of the medial surface, there is one sulcus there which is running horizontally forwards. You see that? This one is running forwards. So this is called as calcarine sulcus. Calcarine sulcus. Above the calcarine sulcus, you find one more sulcus which is running downwards. And that's called as parieto-occipital sulcus. It's called parieto-occipital. So it lies between the parietal and occipital lobe. Occipital lobe, parietal lobe, between that. Parieto-occipital sulcus and calcarine sulcus. Which one is which? Okay. Blue one is parieto-occipital sulcus. And then here, this is the calcarine sulcus. Now this triangular shaped area between the two sulcus, calcarine sulcus and parieto-occipital sulcus, this triangular shaped area, this gyrus is called as cuneus gyrus. Cuneus gyrus. It is above the calcarine sulcus. Below the calcarine sulcus, any gyrus pin below the calcarine sulcus, that's called lingual gyrus. So blue one is the lingual gyrus, the pink one, the red one is the cuneus gyrus. And both these gyrus contain visual area. 17, 18, 19, like this gyrus. So they receive fibers from the laryngeal genital body. A question can be asked: what is functional level they have? What are its afferents? Name the afferents. Fibers terminate here. What is the origin of the afferents? On the medial surface. So what fibers end here? Or you can say what are the afferents of this fiber, this area? It receives optic radiation. The name of the fibers end here. They are called optic radiation. And they come from the lateral genital body. What is the origin of fibers ending here? So they come from the lateral genital body. If you go somewhere in the middle of the medial surface here, there is one gyrus here. This gyrus. This is called as paracentral lobule. Paracentral lobule. This gyrus contains, the anterior part of this gyrus contains primary motor area. The anterior part. The posterior part of the same gyrus contains somatosensory area. So anterior part contains area 4. The posterior part contains area 3, 1, 2. What divides it with anterior posterior part? This sulcus. Can you see what sulcus there? This sulcus. This sulcus is called as central sulcus. Central sulcus on this surface, on superior lateral surface, this surface here, it's here. Between the precentral gyrus and postcentral gyrus, you find central sulcus. This one. This is precentral, postcentral. Same sulcus, the upper end of the sulcus goes to medial surface. When it goes to medial surface, you can see there are a couple of medial surface now. The paracentral lobule forms a U-shaped tap around it. It forms a U-shaped tap around it. That's the paracentral lobule. So part of paracentral lobule in front is called as anterior part of paracentral lobule. The posterior part is behind the central sulcus. So we will not be asked to identify anterior posterior part. Just identify this gyrus. So it's paracentral lobule. Name the functional area present in it. So primary motor area, somatosensory area. That's the medial surface. So in medial surface you identify cingulate gyrus, cingulate sulcus, calcarine sulcus, parieto-occipital sulcus, and 3 gyrus also identified like the lingual gyrus, cuneus gyrus, and paracentral lobule. Okay, next we go to inferior surface. This is the inferior surface. This is the posterior part of inferior surface. You know that it's called temporal part of inferior surface. In this part, 2.1 sulcus, which is very deep. This sulcus, you can see that? That's called as collateral sulcus. Collateral sulcus. And this sulcus is very deep. It makes an impression or it makes a bulging on the inferior horn of lateral ventricle. The inferior horn of lateral ventricle is in the temporal lobe. It goes close to that and it makes a bulging. The bulging is called as collateral eminence. So it creates collateral eminence. It's collateral sulcus. So that's about the gyri and sulci on the three different surfaces. Next, we like the white matter of the cerebrum. Already you know the corpus callosum. This is the corpus callosum. So it's a bundle of commissural fibers. What type of fibers present in it? It's a bundle of commissural fibers. What are its parts? It has parts like this part. This part is called as rostrum, and this part is called as genu, and this part, the big one, and from here to here, is called as trunk of the corpus callosum, and the posterior end is called as splenium of corpus callosum. Well, this is the four parts of corpus callosum, and this is the cavity. This is a cavity. This is a cavity which lies close to corpus callosum, or which lies below the corpus callosum. This is the anterior part of lateral ventricle, and this part is called as central part of lateral ventricle. The anterior part of lateral ventricle, which is called as anterior horn of lateral ventricle, it is above the rostrum, it's behind the genu, it's below the anterior part of trunk of corpus callosum. This is trunk, it lies below the anterior part of trunk. This is the anterior horn of lateral ventricle. Now we will take a section of cerebrum. We take section like this, horizontal section of cerebrum. Cut the cerebrum like this into upper and lower part. And the section will go through the splenium of corpus callosum, thalamus, this is thalamus, then genu of the corpus callosum, like this. Okay? If we cut like this, what you can see now? Half of the cerebrum, the right cerebral hemisphere, and this is the front, the frontal pole is here, this is the occipital pole, and this is the thalamus, you see that, caudate nucleus. And to right by this one now, our section went through the thalamus, and two parts of corpus callosum. Number 6 is the genu, and number 11 is the splenium of corpus callosum. And you can see the fibers of genu. They enter the frontal lobe of this side, and if you listen, they enter the frontal lobe of this side. So it looks like somewhat like a letter U, or somewhat like a forceps. That's called forceps minor. So fibers of genu, they form forceps minor. Similarly, fibers of splenium go back to occipital lobe on this side, and take them on the other side also. So they also look like one more forceps, forceps major. Forceps major is formed by the fibers of splenium. This forceps major runs close to this part of lateral ventricle. You can see this is the lateral ventricle, part of lateral ventricle. It's in the occipital lobe of cerebrum. It's level 30 there. That is the posterior horn of lateral ventricle. So it runs on the medial wall of posterior horn, and it makes one elevation on the medial wall. That's called as bulb of posterior horn. So bulb of posterior horn is produced by these fibers, forceps major, make the bulb. Okay, next in this same section you can see the internal capsule, the V-shaped structure here, 7, 8, 9 label. And here there is no posterior limb of internal capsule. You write for each part, and part of the internal capsule behind lentiform nucleus. This part is called as the retrolentiform part of internal capsule. So we have some of those similar specimens. You can see it's labeled 1 is the Sternum of the corpus callosum, and then level 9, level 8. 8 is sternum of corpus callosum, and the fibers will go inside. I think from the corpus major, minor here, and major here. They go inside. This is the posterior horn of the lateral ventricle. Inside here. Thalamus. Okay, that's about the white matter. The next, we are going to see the lateral ventricle. The lateral ventricle. So if you see the medial surface of cerebrum, you can see the corpus callosum, and then thalamus is there. But below the corpus callosum, you find one more structure. You can see this thin membrane there. It is damaged. It's present below the corpus callosum, and this structure is called as septum pellucidum. Septum pellucidum. And below septum pellucidum, you find one more structure. You can see it's also damaged. You can see part of it is here. This one, and part is here also. It's cut. This part is cut, and that's called as fornix, the body of fornix. Septum pellucidum lies between the body of fornix and corpus callosum. If you remove both these structures, you can see a cavity inside. That is the lateral ventricle. You are not seeing the entire lateral ventricle. You are seeing only two parts of lateral ventricle here. So this part of lateral ventricle is the anterior-most part of lateral ventricle. That's called as anterior horn. And next, above the thalamus, exactly above thalamus, this part, above thalamus, yes, thalamus there, just above thalamus. This part is called as central part of lateral ventricle. So these are the two parts of lateral ventricle which are very close to midline. Only septum pellucidum is there, separates them. So the septum pellucidum forms the medial wall of both these parts. You break this, you are entering the anterior horn and central part of lateral ventricle. Whereas other two parts, there's a posterior horn in the occipital lobe, that's inferior horn in the temporal lobe. They are very deep. So those parts you cannot see, but only this part, these two parts are very close to midline. You can identify these two parts. And other parts you can see only if you take section of the cerebrum. Okay? So there are other specimens where you can identify the anterior horn and central horn. You have seen this before. This is the anterior horn, where the rostrum is there below, and the genu is there, it's the anterior horn. Then this is the tongue above the thalamus. Sorry. The central part of lateral ventricle above the thalamus. So anterior horn will continue back to the central part. Where the anterior horn and central part meet, there is an opening. I'll show the opening. Go back again to the previous question. This opening. You have seen this opening before. This is the interventricular foramen, also called the foramen of Monroe. So if you pass anything to this, it will enter the lateral ventricle. This opening connects the lateral and third ventricles. And this opening exactly lies at junction between the anterior horn and central part, between the two parts of lateral ventricles. This interventricular foramen. So interventricular foramen, you are identifying, you know what it connects, and you know what are the boundaries of interventricular foramen. In front of the interventricular foramen, you can see this structure here. It's going down there, this elevation, this structure. I'll pin that. Okay, pin that now. I pin the structure in the anterior wall of the foramen. That's called as column of fornix. I told you about body of fornix. It divides into two columns, and they run in front of the interventricular foramen on each side. So that's called column of fornix. Behind is anterior end of thalamus. So interventricular foramen, anterior boundary is formed by the column of fornix. Posterior boundary of the foramen is formed by the thalamus. Exactly anterior end of thalamus. 105. You can see now here, this is the middle surface of the cerebrum, and you can see number 1, you can see labeled 1. This is the corpus callosum. The section has gone a little away from the midline, it's not in the midline area. The thalamus is not that clear here. And you can see this cavity here. This cavity is called as a lateral ventricle. Again, anterior horn, front here, then central part here. You can see something labeled 2 there. That's an elevation. It's made up of grey matter. That's the caudate nucleus. So this elevation is labeled as the caudate nucleus. Exactly this part is the head of the caudate nucleus. It becomes narrow as it goes back. It's called as the body of the caudate nucleus. Okay. So that elevation we can see when you come close to the specimen. It's not clear in the screen. You can see some other parts of lateral ventricle emitting section, like this is the occipital lobe, and you can see this part of the cavity is labeled 7. That's called as the posterior horn of lateral ventricle, and it's this one here. Cavity here is close to 4 there. 4 is some weight there. So this area is not labeled. So 2 is genome of the corpus callosum, just near that. This cavity is the anterior horn of lateral ventricle. So you can see 2 parts of lateral ventricle. This is the posterior horn. And if you go inside, if you go deep inside there, it will continue as the inferior horn. It will go temporal lobe. Okay, if you go inside. Okay, this is the posterior horn. Central part will be here, above the number 5. Number 5 is thalamus. It lies above thalamus. Again, you have seen this specimen. The posterior horn, the occipital lobe, and you can see here is number 1 there, the head of the caudate nucleus, and this cavity close to that. That's called as anterior horn of lateral ventricle. So anterior horn, posterior horn, you can see in the sections of it. The 137 is there, one more specimen, similar one. And this is 3. It's labeled 3 there at the head of the caudate nucleus. These are also not labeled. You can see this one, number 2 there, some register. So between 3 and 2, you can see the cavity there. You can hear also the cavity there. So this is called anterior horn of lateral ventricle. Anterior horn. And you can see the posterior horn there. This one. Occipital lobe. Posterior horn. Again, this specimen, you can make out the lateral ventricle, again anterior horn here, between this part, between here is the posterior central part, then this is the body of formex, then this is where here you find opening, the interventricular foramen, thalamus, hypothalamus. This is a section of the cerebrum. Only lower half is there. Lower part of cerebrum is there. Only lower part. is the frontal lobe here, then this is temporal lobe, then this is the occipital lobe. Only lower half is there, upper half is removed. So if you turn it, this is the occipital lobe, and you can see the cavity inside the occipital lobe. There is a posterior horn of lateral ventricle. So if they go inside now, the space you are seeing now here. This space. So this is the empty horn of lateral ventricle, and I have pinned one structure, there one elevation there, then hippocampus. So this long bulging pin there, cavity, that's the hippocampus. That's in the floor of the inferior horn. Floor of the inferior horn. Okay. So this is temporal lobe. So cavity inside temporal lobe. It's a part of the lateral ventricle inside. Space can be there. That's the inferior horn of lateral ventricle. The structure I have been there, that's the hippocampus. So we have placed many specimens there of cerebral hemisphere on different tables.